Hi, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we're making chicken enchiladas. Now this dish I've been making for probably, I'm going to show my age here, but probably a good 25 years. And it was a potluck dinner that somebody else brought, and it was so good that I decided I had to develop my own. And so we're making a huge pot because whenever I make this, I have to make pans so my daughter can take some home, and I have to drop some off at my girlfriend's house. So if you do this, be prepared to make extras so people can take some home. What I start with though is shredded chicken. So I cooked this chicken, just boil it up, but I put a clove of garlic in here. I put some salt and pepper and bay leaf, and just boil it up until it's cooked, and then just shred it up. Now there's 1,000 ways you can shred chicken. I'm old school, and so I just use my hands and I just shred it up into the bowl.
That's right. Some people use a fork and it takes forever.
Yeah.
I hate the fork method.
Yeah, I do too. And you know what? Some people use their food processor, and then you got to clean the food processor.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to start off with a little bit of mise en place, and so we're going to cut up some green onion. Okay, now I'll tell you one thing, and Ben obviously knows this. It's worth investing into a good set of knives. A sharper knife is actually safer than a dull knife. So make sure that you have a nice knife, hold it correctly, don't cut your fingers off. And then, you know, you've heard it on everybody's show, but really and truly it's about that wave of the motion and just cutting through your vegetables quickly and easily. And so we're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna cut up that green onion. Really easy. And at the end of the day, that's all of the mise en place that you're gonna have to do. And so I don't like a lot of dishes, so you know, I'm just gonna take it straight from my cutting board, and I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just going to add it to my chicken.
How many onions was that?
Oh, good question. So this is just a bunch of green onions. It's worth also noting that I just use flexible cutting boards for my vegetables. I do have separate cutting boards for meat and vegetables. You know, it's worth it to me to keep it clean. And if you notice, I didn't use the sharp end of my knife as I'm scraping. I do have a bench cutter, but there wasn't a bench scraper, but it wasn't worth it because I wasn't using enough vegetables. Now I'm actually going to have two bowls at this point though. So one bowl is going to have my chicken filling, and the other bowl is going to have my smother sauce. And here's where I'm going to actually have a divide. So I'm going to add 1 can of green chilies to the chicken.
Are those hot or mild?
These are mild. These are fire roasted green chickens, or green chilies, but you know what? They're not going to bring any heat at all because I have people in my family that don't like heat. I do personally, but these won't bring any heat at all. And then I'm going to add the other can to my smother sauce.
Did you drain those before you?
Yes, good question. I absolutely did. I drained them before just because we do want some liquid, but not a lot of that overall stuff. I then have a big family size can of cream of chicken soup. Yep, you absolutely get to use soup in this recipe. Good. And I'm going to add half to the chicken and half to the smother. I did use about 4 pounds of chicken. If you want to do less, you can, but you're going to be sorry. You're going to be sorry because people are going to, again, like I said, take some home, or you can freeze it. Lots of things you can do to it. I'm going to go ahead and just give this a quick stir just because I want to see what my consistency is at this point. So a quick stir across the board. And we can see that it's getting nice and moist. Okay, now we're going to take a container of sour cream. This is just the 1 pound thing. Sometimes I add a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. It just depends on my mood. But I'm going to put, you know, most of it, about 3/4 of it in with the filling. And then I'm going to put the rest, I'm going to go ahead and put it into the sauce. Just go ahead and just give it a quick stir. Because again, we want to just check on consistency. One thing that I didn't say, so hopefully you're not doing this as I'm doing it, is that you didn't want to throw away all of that good chicken broth that was a result of cooking your chicken. And the reason is because we're going to use that as our thinner. So as you make your chicken enchiladas, if it's too thick, you're going to add some of the chicken broth. If it's not too thick, then you can add more cheese, right? This is looking really good though, really good. Oh, and again, I'm going to say this a lot, I know, but I wish you could smell this. It just smells so good. The only controversy we have in my house when I make this is how much cheese should we use. I use about 1.5 pounds of cheese. I think that is plenty of cheese, plenty of cheese. Other people want a little bit more cheese. They rarely get it. But if you want to add more cheese, it's your chicken enchiladas, please, by all means, go ahead and add it. This is a combination of cheddar cheese, Monterey Jack cheese, and actually a little bit of mozzarella cheese. I'm going to put, again, the majority of the cheese in with the filling. I'm going to add a little bit into the smother sauce, and then I'm going to save, you know, about 1/4 of it just to put over the top when I'm all done. And then I'm going to just stir it up. Okay, if we look at this smother sauce, it's a little bit thick for me. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just add some of this amazing chicken broth. The other thing that you can do with this chicken broth, because I don't like to waste, is anything that you don't use, you can absolutely freeze it in your freezer, obviously. And you can save it for a broth, for chicken noodle soup for later on. And then it's kind of in that waste not, want not category. I'm still going to add a little bit more. Just because it goes into that smother outline. Oh, I'm getting hungry. We have a beautiful black golden doodle here, and he definitely likes the smell. I don't think he's going to get any because of the spices that's in it, but he wants. And I'm going to add just a little bit more of the broth also to the filling, just to keep it moist so that at the end of the day our enchiladas don't come out dry. We don't want dry enchiladas. We like things nice and moist. But this is definitely going to be to your preference, and it's going to be to sight. So some things you just can't learn from a recipe. You're going to have to just do it yourself. But you can see, to me, that looks like a perfect filling. And this looks like a pretty dang close to perfect smother sauce. Okay, so we're gonna start by just putting a little bit of the smother sauce in the bottom of the pan. And guys, don't make a small pan like this. I'm just making a small one for the demonstration. I use a nice big glass pan because you're gonna want leftovers. And this is something that tastes better the next day, I think, right? And then it's time to roll. So I just grab a pile of tortillas. I don't make mine, sorry. I know that there's people out there that make amazing tortillas, and I totally respect that. And then you're gonna just drop a good portion of the filling right there in the middle of your tortilla. And you're gonna kind of spread it out a little bit because I like to make sure that I get a bite of filling in every single luscious bite that I take. Make sure that the calories are all worth it for me. And then I'm going to just roll it. And I am not a perfect roller. You don't have to be a perfect roller either, because the idea behind this is that, hey, we want to enjoy this, and I respect the fact that I'm a home cook. And then you're just going to plop it in the pan, and I'm going to do a few more, and then we're going to pop it in the oven at 425 for about 30 minutes, right? Everything's cooked. And, well, I'll show you what I'm going to do here in just a second. Okay, all right, so now we're going to take the smother, and we're just going to smother over the top of these enchiladas. And don't be afraid to just get it in between the enchiladas. Oh my gosh, and these are so good, so good.
Just pour that bowl on there.
Yeah. And even while I was rolling up the enchiladas, we were having a discussion about more cheese, less cheese. So really, you know, again, make these your own. Make them up to your family's preference of cheese. I wouldn't use, I would use a good quality cheese because you don't want to get that greasy cheese residual on the top. So definitely I'm sorry you guys, but I don't think that I would use like a vegan cheese or anything like that. But otherwise you can absolutely make it your own. And then just add some cheese up on the top. And we're going to throw it in the oven now. 425 degrees, about 30 minutes. What you're going to look for though is a nice bubble up on the top. Again, everything's already cooked, so we're just letting it do its thing. And once we take it out, let it rest for about 15-20 minutes before you serve it. Okay, so here's a finished plate of chicken enchiladas. You can see that there's a nice brown melted cheesy top.
Looks good.
Should we try it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, just gonna cut some. I absolutely adore these, and I really think your family's going to too. If you like a little bit of heat, I made a little bit of just, you know, salsa to put on top. If you don't like it, just don't put the salsa on it. All right, cheers.
That is good. I'm gonna get another piece here.
Yeah, thank you actually.
Go back for a second.
Yeah. Oh. Enjoy. Like us on Facebook, or sorry, YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. You guys, we have lots of fun stuff planned, and the idea is let's get cooking and let's do something fun.
All right, thank you.